Yeah, okay, so let us start the class. So we'll take up from the same slide which we had talked about in the previous lecture, right? So we were actually talking about the common emitter stage, okay, common emitter amplifier stage, and we had known how to calculate the the gain, the input impedance and output impedance. And we had commented that in a degenerated common emitter stage, that is where you have this emitter resistor, the gain goes down. Okay, so there is a loss in gain, input impedance increases, and output impedance remains same. And this is true when there is no R naught, right? So VA, that is early effect, the early voltage was considered infinite. Okay, so that R naught was also infinite. So we didn't consider R naught here. Negligible early effect was considered. Right. So in that scenario, these three things are true. Okay. Now let us continue from here. Okay. Now let us also bring in the uh, base resistance into this circuit. So far we have calculated the gain without base resistance. Okay. So let us bring the base resistance also into picture. Okay. So we say now we have a common emitter stage with degeneration and also base resistance. Okay. Now let us find out the gain of this circuit. Okay. So for finding the gain of this circuit, let us, first of all, look into this part, that is base to emitter loop here. Okay. So in the base to emitter loop, one can transform, in fact, this portion base to emitter, which we use to calculate the input impedance. Okay. So in the previous lecture, we had seen how to calculate the input impedance, and we had commented here that the this portion, that is base to emitter part, right? So this can be used to calculate Vx by Ix, that is input impedance, okay, which is R pi plus beta plus 1 Re. So this portion which is used for calculating the input impedance can be simplified to this as per this equation. Okay. So this portion which is used to calculate input impedance can be simplified into this circuit as per this equation. Okay. So this equation says that input impedance is equal to R pi plus beta plus 1 Re. So here also R pi plus beta plus 1 Re, okay, which is input impedance. Okay. So we understood this beta plus 1 Re has to be included whenever we are trying to calculate the input impedance for common emitter with degeneration. Okay. So this beta plus 1 Re has to be remembered. Okay. Now let us bring the same beta plus 1 Re into this circuit, that is we transform this portion base to emitter. Okay. Because we know that input impedance has now the contribution from R pi in series with beta plus 1 Re, okay, from the previous circuit. Okay. That is from here R pi plus beta plus 1, R pi plus beta plus 1 Re. Okay. Now if I add Rb also here, that is base resistance also here, so that means this should be modified, so I should have Rb also here to calculate the input impedance. Okay. So that means input impedance should be equal to now this much, Rb plus this much. Okay. So the same is written in the previous slide, sorry, the next slide. Okay. So let us find out here. Okay. So the input impedance could be simply calculated as Rb plus R pi plus beta plus 1 Re. Okay. Now let us say that at this point A, the potential is Va, and for this circuit which is used to calculate the input impedance, okay, we find a relationship between Va and Vin. Okay. So in fact before that we can write Va over here from this circuit. So VA, that is drop across this portion, would be simply equal to the current through this multiplied by R pi plus beta plus 1 RA, right? So VA would be the current through this. Let us say the current is I, R pi plus beta plus 1 RA. Okay, so one can write VA as I current through this multiplied by R pi plus beta plus 1 RA. Now, similarly, one can write an equation for V in. That is, this V in would be equal to drop across this plus drop across this entire, right? V in would be equal to drop across this RB plus drop across R pi and beta plus 1. Okay, so I can write V in as, and if I is going in this loop, so I can write V in is IRB plus drop across this is VA. Okay. Now, next, what we can find is, we can find the ratio of VA to V in. That is VA, if I divide this VA by this V in. Okay, so I get a ratio of VA by V in. So this VA by V in would be equal to R pi plus beta plus 1 RE divided by RB plus R pi plus beta plus 1 RE. Okay, where VA is this much. So I'll put this VA here also. Okay, and then since this has I also and this also has I, so I common. So they will cancel out in VA by V in ratio. So you'll be left with this much, R pi plus beta plus 1 RE divided by RB plus R pi plus beta plus 1 RE. Okay. So this VA by V in ratio is written here also. VA by V in, same ratio is written over here. Okay. Now, next we also find a relationship between V out and VA. Okay. So V out, that is for this stage, would be simply equal to minus GMRC. Okay. So V out would be simply minus GMRC considering R naught is infinite. Okay. So V out would be minus GMRC. Okay. So we want to find V out by VA ratio. So V out would be minus GMRC and VA we have already calculated here. That is this part. Okay. So you put V out as minus GMRC, VA from here. Okay. So you get this relation. Okay. So now why we want to find out this relation? Because we want to find out the overall gain of this circuit, which will be equal to the ratio of V out and V in. Okay. So the overall gain would be V out by V in, which I can write as V out by V in, okay, and multiply and divide. Sorry, multiply here by VA and here also by VA. Okay. So I get a relationship V out by V in is VA by V in, V out by VA. VA by V in I have found here and V out by VA also I have found here. Okay. So from this I can simply find out the overall gain AV, okay, which is equal to now here this much, right? Minus beta RC by R pi plus beta plus 1 dash, and then further dividing the numerator and denominator by beta, you get the overall gain for this circuit with base resistance also and emitter degeneration also. So you get AV as, that is gain as this much. Okay. So now similarly one can find out the input and output impedance. Okay. So input and output impedance of this circuit with base resistance and emitter resistance both can be found. Okay. So how it can be found? So input impedance can now again further be divided into two. So that is input impedance looking into the base from this side. Okay. So I say that this is Rn1, let us say, and when Rb is connected, then I say overall input impedance is from looking from this side is Rn2. Okay. So Rn1 is composed of Rn2 is composed of Rn1. obviously. So one can find them separately. Okay? Because this R in 1 is more important to me, because this R in 2, so this could be actually the output impedance of some other stage which is connected here. So let us say this is some circuit, okay? And this RB could be actually the output impedance of this circuit, okay? Or output impedance of this stage. Okay? So the output impedance of this stage could be this RB. So this RB is not more important to me. R in 1 is more important to me. So that is why I want to calculate this R in 1 separately, that is looking directly into the base. Okay? So if I try to find out R in 1, that is input impedance. So for finding out the input impedance, I again utilize the previous, this one, right? So it is same, excluding RB. So this is R pi plus beta plus 1 RE, the input impedance. So I write R in 1 as R pi plus beta plus 1 RE. Okay? And R in 2, so this, when we include RB in series, so that is R in 1 in series with RB. So that is RB plus R pi plus beta plus 1 RE. Okay? And output impedance in absence of any early effect would be equal to simply RC. So otherwise R naught will also would have come into picture for output impedance. Okay? So this way one can find out the input impedance of degenerated common emitter stage with base resistor also. Now let us consider this example. So let us say this is my complex circuit for which I want to calculate the gain and input and output impedance, right? So for this circuit. Now how to find out? Again, we would like to do two things here. First thing is that we want to simplify this circuit. So transform this circuit into a simpler form, right? So transform this circuit into a simpler, or maybe I'll write transform into simpler circuit of known type. So known type means here that I want to transform this into some known type for which I have already calculated the gain, input impedance and output impedance, right? Now here we see a capacitor. Just a second. Yeah. So this capacitor over here. So we need to remember that this is actually used for the AC ground purpose, right? So I discussed what is AC ground. That is at high frequency, this capacitor acts as a short circuit, right? So the impedance of this would be 1 by j omega c. So at high frequency, this capacitor will act as a short circuit. So that is, I can, if it is a short circuit, so that means this will try to connect the current from this node to ground and the current from this node also to the ground. Okay, so that is actually the job of this capacitor. So it acts as a AC ground. Okay. That is, it acts as a short circuit at high frequencies. So considering this AC ground concept, I can simplify this circuit into this, right? That is, the job of this capacitor is to either couple this current which is coming from emitter to ground via this resistor R2, or current which is coming from collector side via R1 to ground. So I can simplify this circuit into this. Okay. Now this circuit seems to be of known type. Okay. So known type, if I remove this, so then it seems that this circuit is exactly equal to the previous circuit. That is this circuit. Okay. That is degenerated common emitter stage with base resistor. So known type circuit has been obtained, okay, transformed into simpler circuit of known type. So for this known type, I can easily find out AV, gain, input impedance, and output impedance. Okay. So input impedance and gain and output impedance, all of these things can be found out. So how? So let us see. So I'll write down simply the gain which I had obtained for this circuit. That is this gain. Okay. That is minus RC by 1 by Gm plus RE. Okay, minus RC by 1 by Gm plus RE plus RB by beta plus 1. So I write the same gain over here. Okay. That is minus AV is minus RC by 1 by Gm plus RE plus RB by beta plus 1. So same gain I have written here. So as I had found it here already, minus RC by 1 by Gm RE RB by beta plus 1. Okay. Minus RC 1 by Gm RE RB by beta plus 1. Okay. Now here, what modifications I have to make? This R2 actually represents RE. So I'll simply write, instead of RE, I'll write R2. So let us write R2 over here. And towards this collector side, okay, so I should have R1 also in parallel with RC, right? So when I draw the small signal model, so this VCC will be actually grounded, okay, shorted to ground. So I'll get RC in parallel with R1 in a small signal model circuit. So I should write RC in parallel to R1 also in the gain, right? So the gain of this complex circuit is simply found here. Now similarly, the input impedance can be found. So input impedance we have already found here. So I'll simply write here the input impedance, that is overall input impedance, looking from this side. So this is RB plus R pi plus beta plus 1 RA. So I'll simply write here the same thing, that is RB plus R pi plus beta plus 1 RE. So RE is R2. Okay. And then the output impedance. So output impedance for common emitter stage with base resistance. In fact, our output impedance we had calculated RC as RC. So the output impedance here would be simply RC parallel to this resistor, right? RC parallel to this resistor. So we'll write R out as RC parallel to R1. Okay. So this way one can find out the these small signal parameters, that is gain, input impedance, and output impedance for any other complex circuit, not just this circuit. So one can think of connecting a transistor also over here, as we had seen in one of the previous examples, or maybe here also one can connect a transistor, okay, and make this circuit little bit complex and scary, right? So but we know that we need to simply transform this complex circuit into simpler circuit of known type. So once I do this, I can easily find out these parameters for any complex circuit. All right. So far we had considered the common emitter stage with VA, that is negligible early effect, we had considered. Okay. Now let us bring early effect into picture. Okay. That is, let us say that VA is less than infinity. So we have significant early effect present. So that is actually represented by this R naught in the small signal model. Okay. So we bring in R naught here, and the effect of this early effect or bringing R naught is that this actually boosts the output impedance. Okay. So in common emitter amplifier with degeneration, if I bring in this early effect, you will find that this actually boosts the input output impedance, and also this improves the gain of the amplifier and thus makes the circuit a better current source. Right? So three things, that is output impedance is good, increases, gain also increases, okay, so that this can be used as a better current source. Okay. So how these two things happen? So for this, we have to again perform analysis on this circuit. Okay. So to know that how this output impedance increases and how the gain is increasing, we need to find out the gain and output impedance of this circuit with R naught. Okay. So let us do that analysis. So for finding out the output impedance, let us say, for finding out the output impedance, you short the input to ground and you connect any voltage source and any current at the output. Okay. And then Vx by Ix ratio we have to calculate as we had done earlier also. Okay. So let us do that. Okay. So for the same circuit, let us do the analysis part. Okay. So for the analysis part, let us write first of all the current through this R naught. So the let us say that current at, going in is Ix. So the current through R naught will be equal to Ix minus GMV pi. Right. So current through this would be Ix minus GMV pi. That is current through R naught. This is Ix minus GMV pi. So one can now write a relationship between, one can apply a KCL in this part, that is from here to here, to comment that Vx would be equal to drop across this plus drop across Re. Okay, so one can write Vx would be equal to drop across this R naught plus drop across this Re. Okay. So I can write this equation 1. Vx is equal to, this is Ix minus GMV pi multiplied by R naught plus Vp. Okay. So drop across Re is, let us say, Vp. Okay. So I can write this equation. And from here, left part, this is V pi, which is dropping across R pi. Okay. So one can write V pi as minus Vp. Okay. So V pi is minus Vp. This is plus minus Vp here. One can write V pi is minus Vp. Okay. And V pi. So V pi one can write as minus Ix Re by R pi. Okay. Minus Ix. Minus Ix Re by R pi one can write. Sorry, not Re by R pi, Re parallel to R pi. Okay. Because these two resistors R pi and Re, they both are in parallel. So one can write V pi as minus Ix Re parallel to R pi. Similarly, Vp, this can be written as Ix times Re parallel to R pi. So this Vx and Vp, one can put in equation number 1 here. So V pi and Vp, one can put in equation 1. Okay. So once you put this in equation 1, we get Vx as this much. Okay. Now we have equation 1 here, then 2 here and 3 here. Right. Okay. Now from these three equations, 1, 2 and 3, one can write Vx, okay, that is this Vx, as equal to this much. Okay. Now from this, one can further write Vx as this. In fact, both these are same. Yeah? This equation and this equation, both are same. Okay. Now from here I'll take I can write from here. I can write that is from 4. That is from 4. 4 is here. From 4 I can write Vx by Ix. I can find out Vx by Ix from here. Okay. So Vx by Ix I can write as, which is R out, right? So Vx by Ix is actually R out. That is output impedance. So one can write Vx by Ix from here as 1 plus Gm Re parallel to R pi multiplied by R naught, right? So 1 plus Ix I'll take common here. So this Ix I'll take common. So it comes over here, Ix. Okay. So let us remove this Ix from here. And then these two Ix are also common. So I'll again bring them out. Or maybe I'll bring down. So I'll write Vx by Ix. Okay. So Vx by Ix. So this is equal to 1 plus Gm Re parallel to R pi multiplied by R naught plus Re parallel to R pi. So this is my output impedance total. Or I can further write this output impedance as R naught plus Gm R naught plus 1 multiplied by Re plus 1, Re parallel to R pi. Or further I can write this is equal to R naught 1 plus Gm Re parallel to R pi. So this output impedance is now this much when Va is less than infinity. Okay. So earlier when Va was not infinite, when Va was infinite, and what was the output impedance? So I'll take you back and show you when Va was infinite. So what was the output impedance we had calculated? So the output impedance was simply RC. Okay. When Va was infinite. Right. So in this case, Va is infinite. So output impedance was RC. Now the output impedance is how much? Now the output impedance is, or maybe if I ignore, RC also. No, RC we can't ignore. So now the output impedance is this much without RC. So if I consider the effect of RC also, then RC will also come in parallel over here. So from this, it is seen that now the output impedance is equal to R naught multiplied by this term. And Gm is already large, we understand, right? So because we have Gm in R out now, so therefore one can say that the output impedance of the degenerated stage is now greater or larger when there is significant early effect, because we have Gm now in the output impedance. Okay. Now the same output impedance I can write here. Let me write this output impedance in the next slide, because we want to use this output impedance further to comment on the output impedance. I'll write R out here as R naught multiplied by 1 plus Gm Re parallel to R pi. So without RC we are only writing. Okay. Now there are two things to remember in this output impedance. So output impedance when Va is less than infinity, there are two things to remember. That is the output impedance when the emitter resistance is very much greater than R pi. Okay. So the output impedance when Re is much greater than R pi. So this Re parallel to R pi, if you try to write, so this is Re R pi by Re plus R pi. Okay. So when Re is much greater than R pi. Okay. So what happens here? So when Re is much greater than R pi, so I can write this as only Re. Okay. So that this goes off then. So we are left with here 1 plus Gm R pi. Right. So that is being written over here. That is, output impedance is now equal to R naught 1 plus Gm R pi. Right? Because we are left with only R pi. Okay. And this 1 plus Gm R pi, this is equal to beta. Okay. So one can write output impedance as beta times R naught. So this is first case. Now second thing is that when Re is less than R pi, much less than R pi. Right? So when Re is much less than R pi, so again you can do the same analysis here. That is when Re is much less than R pi. Okay. So what happens? Re is much less than R pi. That is R pi is greater, much larger. So this becomes R pi. So R pi goes off. So we are left with only Re. So this is also one. So we are left with only Re. So it is 1 plus Gm Re. This is Gm Re multiplied by R. Okay, so what we have learned so far? So we have learned that if there is any complex circuit of this kind, we need to transform this complex circuit into a simpler circuit of known type or known topology. So once I simplify or transform this circuit into a simpler circuit of known topology, I can simply write the gain, input impedance and output impedance of this complex circuit. Right. So this is what we have learned today. Okay. So for example, when this is transformed into this, okay, so further this can be simplified now. So instead of finding total output impedance at this point, one can say that, let us say that we don't have R1. So in this circuit, we don't have R1. Okay. So you don't have R1 here in this circuit. So one can find out output impedance here as Rout1. And then for finding out total Rout, one would say total Rout would be equal to R1 parallel to Rout1. Okay. Because R1 is here, so one can connect then R1 over here for finding out the total impedance. That is Rout. Okay. So this way one can simplify this circuit further. So one can write Rout as, that is this big Rout is Rout1 parallel to R1. And Rout1 can be found easily because this is again a known configuration. That is common emitter amplifier with emitter degeneration. So for which we have already calculated Rout as 1 plus Gm R0 multiplied by R2 parallel to R pi. Okay, we had already calculated. So where, let me again show you. So Rout we had already calculated, this one, or maybe here. Okay, so one can simply write Rout1. Okay. Then from Rout1 one can find out Rout by simply connecting R1 in parallel to Rout1. Now using the same concept, one can think of finding out the output impedance of this complex circuit. So this complex circuit is actually called a cascode circuit. Okay. So cascode means common emitter, common base. It has two configurations. So common emitter, this is common emitter Q2, and this is common base configuration. So both are connected, which is called actually cascode. So we'll talk about this cascode in a little bit more detail later on. But let us say that now we have this circuit and we want to find out the output impedance. Okay. So for finding out the output impedance of this, let us assume that at this point, which represents actually the output impedance of Q2. Okay. So the output impedance of Q2 is RO2. So I replace Q2 by simply a resistor RO2, right? Because here is the output impedance of Q2. And the output impedance of Q2 we already know. common emitter pair, it is RO2. So this circuit is simplified now into this circuit, that is common emitter circuit with emitter degeneration. Okay. So common emitter circuit with emitter degeneration. We had already calculated the gain. That is gain was 1 plus GM RE parallel to R pi. Okay, we had written R out. That is this R out for common emitter amplifier with emitter degeneration. This we had already found as 1 plus GM. Okay, 1 plus GM RE parallel to R pi. Okay, and multiplied by R naught. So we had already calculated. So I'll show you again R out for common emitter configuration with emitter degeneration. So either you can take from here, we can take from here, in fact this equation or this equation, right? That is R naught 1 plus GM RE parallel to R pi, right? Same is written over here. That is here R naught 1 plus GM RE parallel to R pi. Okay. So RE becomes R naught over here, RO2 here, right? So RO2. Okay. R pi for this transistor is R pi 1, let us say, and R naught for this transistor Q1 is RO1. Okay. So I finally find out the output impedance of this as 1 plus GM1. Okay, yeah, this is also GM1 for this Q1. GM1 RO2 here parallel to R pi 1 of this and RO1 of this. Okay. So this is how one can find out the output impedance of this complex circuit. Okay. Now let us consider some examples of bad input connection. So let us say that somebody tries to connect a microphone output. Okay, one is biased. Okay, fine. This is correctly biased via this resistor. But now the problem is that the user is connecting the microphone here. This microphone is connected directly at the base of this transistor. Okay. Now this microphone has a very low resistance. Okay. So this would be saying that, this would be equivalent to saying that you have connected this via low resistance to ground. Okay. So this microphone has a low resistance. So this would be equivalent to saying that you have directly connected the base of this transistor via a low resistor to ground. Okay. Now the effect of this is that ground is shorted. The base is shorted to ground because this resistance is very small. If this resistance is very large, it is fine. But microphones output impedance is very small, resistance is very small. So this is basically connecting the base of this BJT to ground, okay, which is actually now attenuating the base emitter voltage, VBE. Okay. That is, this base emitter voltage now goes down because of this connection. Okay. That is, the bias point is also now not stable. Okay. So bias point is not stable now because VBE goes down. Okay. So the collector current, base current in fact, so that will also be very weak. So very weak base current because of weak VBE. So why VBE is weak? Because base is connected to ground. Okay. Because this resistor, which is offered by resistance offered by this microphone, is very small or very low. Okay. So when base current is small, so that means, it goes down. So that means bias point is not stable now. Okay. That is, collector current will also be small. Okay. So this is actually the problem here. Okay. Now, how to overcome this problem? So to overcome this problem, one should couple the microphone output via a capacitor. Okay. So one should couple the microphone output via this capacitor. Now the job of this capacitor would be that for low frequencies, okay, so for low frequencies it will act as a open circuit. Low frequency, C1 open. Okay. So the bias point and stability of this circuit are not affected. And for high frequencies, the impedance of this, okay, so at high frequencies, the impedance is negligible. Okay. This impedance is negligible at high impedance, high frequency, or it represents a short. Okay. So this represents a short at high frequencies, and low frequency it represents open circuit. Okay. So that means the job of this capacitor is to couple this microphone to this amplifier at high frequencies only. Okay. Now one can do the DC and AC analysis on this circuit by simply saying that if I want to do a DC analysis on this circuit, I'll simply keep the capacitor open. Okay. And then one can perform the DC analysis. And for AC analysis, the capacitor would be shorted, and then one can perform the AC analysis to find out the input impedance, output impedance. Okay. And gain can also be found simply looking at this circuit. One can write the gain as minus Gm times Rc parallel to R naught, considering Va is less than infinity. Okay. So one can write this gain. Okay. And input impedance as R pi parallel to Rb. Okay. Output impedance as Rc parallel to R naught. Now, similar to the bad input connection, a user can make a bad output connection also, like this, where the collector is directly connected to a speaker. Okay. So collector is directly connected to a speaker. Again, speaker has an inductor with a very low DC resistance. Okay. So this speaker has very low DC resistance. Okay. That is, resistance of this is very small. So again, it would be equivalent to saying that we have shorted this collector to ground, because this resistance is very small. Okay. So I've written somewhere here, yeah, very low resistance. So that would be saying that collector is shorted to ground. Okay. So when the collector is shorted to ground, so that means collector voltage, this becomes Vc is also zero. So when Vc is zero, then Vc is actually now less than Vb. Okay. And for making the transistor work in active region, we want Vc to be greater than Vb. Okay. But in this scenario, Vc is less than Vb. Okay. So that means my transistor is driven into deep saturation, because Vc is zero because of this. Okay. So one can again rectify this problem by simply connecting again a capacitor over here in between the collector and the speaker, as we had done for the microphone here at the input. So one can correct this circuit by connecting a capacitor at the output. Okay. So again, the job of this capacitor is same. High frequencies, it connects the collector to the load here. Low frequency, it does not connect. It is an open circuit. Okay. So these two capacitors are also called coupling capacitors. Okay. Input coupling and output coupling via the capacitor. Okay. Now one of the problems when we are connecting this capacitor, sorry, when we are connecting this speaker at the output, would be that my gain is now a little bit down. Okay, because of the low resistance of the speaker. Okay, so I'll have to consider the speaker resistance in parallel with this collector resistance. So the overall gain would be minus GM RC parallel to the speaker resistance. So because of this, the overall gain drops. And this is the case when VA is less than infinity. So we are not considering R naught here. Now, one can also think of biasing this common emitter amplifier stage with degeneration or maybe without degeneration by using this voltage divider biasing technique. Okay. So one can utilize this voltage divider biasing by connecting R1 and R2 at the input, okay, and then try to find out gain. So gain will be simply minus GM RC parallel to R naught. Okay. So here we are considering VA is less than infinity. And input impedance Rin would be simply R pi in parallel with R1 and R2. And output impedance will be simply RC parallel to R naught, as we had done earlier also. So we had seen how to calculate these gains. Okay. So one can simply write by inspection. Okay. Now this is a better or robust biasing in comparison to the previous one. The difference is that here you don't have emitter degeneration. Okay. But here, which is called robust biasing, you have emitter degeneration also. So we understand how this emitter degeneration is actually a robust or more stable biasing. So we have discussed this. Okay. So when you bring this RE to make this circuit biasing more robust, we see that now let us consider VA as infinity. So the gain can be written as we had calculated earlier. Okay. So simply by inspection, one can write gain as minus GMRC, okay, minus GMRC by 1 plus GMRE. Okay. So this is the common emitter amplifier's gain when you have emitter resistor present or emitter degeneration present, or this can be written further into this type. Okay. Similarly, input impedance can be written. So you remember this beta plus 1 RE we had discussed today. Okay. So input impedance is R pi plus beta plus 1 RE. We had already discussed how we get this R pi plus beta plus 1 RE. Okay. Now we have extra R1 and R2 also. So we'll simply connect them in parallel. So the total input impedance would be equal to R pi plus beta plus 1 RE parallel to R1 parallel to R2. And output impedance when VA is infinity is simply RC. Otherwise, it would have been RC parallel to R naught. Okay. Now, I think this would be my last slide for the day. Now, one can eliminate the emitter degeneration for AC signals. Okay. So because we understand that the gain of this amplifier when we are having the emitter degeneration is 1 plus GMRE. So that is the gain goes down because of this RE. Okay. So AC gain, right? Because we are trying to amplify the AC small signal, AC, right? So the AC gain goes down. So gain goes down because of this RE. Okay. So to improve this AC gain, we would like not to have RE while amplifying AC signals. Okay. So how to ensure that? So one can connect a capacitor over here across this RE. Now the job of this capacitor would be that for a small signal or for AC signals at high frequency, this capacitor will act as a short circuit. So that is, this resistor will be shorted. Okay. So when the resistor is shorted, so obviously no RE here, so this term will be gone. So you are left with only this much as gain. Okay. So the gain of this circuit is now better. Okay. Stability is also better, DC bias stability, because we have RE. Now AC gain is better because you have C2 here. Okay. So this capacitor is also called emitter bypass capacitor because this is biasing this emitter degeneration, sorry, bypassing this emitter degeneration resistor. So the current which is coming from emitter, so that is not allowed to go into this emitter resistor because this capacitor actually shorts this resistor at high frequencies. So AC current gain is now maintained high. It does not fall. Okay. So I think I'm done with the today's lecture. So in fact, one can think of a complete common emitter stage where you have everything. That is input coupling capacitor, output coupling capacitor. Okay. Then you have voltage divider biasing also. You have emitter degeneration also. Okay. So for this circuit, one can write the gain. Okay. So for this circuit, one can write the gain simply by looking into this portion, which is simply common emitter generation amplifier with degeneration. So for this, one can write the voltage gain, input impedance, and output impedance, and then modify these three parameters by connecting, this portion in parallel when we are calculating the input impedance to input impedance. Similarly, not parallel, in series it will come. Similarly, output impedance, whatever output impedance comes will connect this portion in parallel with the output impedance. Similarly, in gain, okay, so if I'm having minus GMRC in the gain, so we have RL also here now. Okay, so we'll simply say G minus GMRC parallel to RL. So this way one can modify the gain of the complete stage by looking into the common emitter degeneration stage. Okay, so one can write the gain equation as this for this circuit. Okay, so I'll stop here, and if you have any queries, then you can ask. Okay, so let us take the attendance. Today is 24th.